Greatmore Studios is located in Greatmore Street in Woodstock, which is one of the oldest suburbs of Cape Town. The main programs Greatmore do are residency programs where we provide opportunities for local artists to come and stay for up to 3 years, and visiting artists will be invited for a 3-month period.
They can really build their career, they can really push themselves into the professional world and interact on a completely different level.
Greatmore Studios is unique because it's got this history. It's been established for 11 years, but it actually came out of these Thupelo workshops, which started about 30 years ago, so it's got this tremendous history. We have many artists who have come through here, gained all they could, and have gone off and established their own art studios afterwards.
There just isn't anything like this at all. There are other residency programs, there are other studio facilities, but they don't offer this sort of networking and the interaction that Greatmore has.
Greatmore's got a lot of experience in art residency programs, exchange programs, workshops, and so has built up a fantastic track record, both with the local art community, international community, art community, and with funders as well. Twice a year we run a program for new talent, for new artists. It's a mentoring month where artists can come and actually explore a new technique. And they do that under mentorship.
Very few artists in this country actually have studio space. You know, a lot of people work in their kitchens or their bedrooms, and so it's a great privilege to actually have a space.
Thupelo is a workshop that happens every year. It's actually the reason Greatmore exists.
Thupelo means to teach by example, and that is the essence of Thupelo.
The workshops were organized out of my home originally, and that required a huge amount of networking.
85 it was up in Johannesburg in that environment. I went to it in 1986, and it was until, I would say, around about 1990. Thereafter, we took over the mantle of Thupelo here in Cape Town. Same concept, inviting artists from all over the world to come and join with us to make art together.
After running these workshops every year, the artists decided they needed a permanent space, so that's how Greatmore came about.
When we started Thupelo, we did not have an office, we did not have an administrative staff. We used to meet in the Cape Town Gardens at the tea room. That was our meeting place when we planned a Thupelo workshop. But 11 years ago, we had our first home, the Greatmore Studios.
The playing field has been so uneven and so diverse, and this is one of the reasons why we started, and to engage in that diversity.
I've been to many workshops, different parts of the world. I've been to many South African workshops, and I have grown tremendously, not only as an artist but as a person, because what we are also doing is breaking down those barriers that keep us apart. By coming together as artists of the world, we are celebrating life. We are celebrating art making. And this is the joy for me, has been the joy of Thupelo throughout the years.
It's really exciting to see artists who have worked here being represented at the National Gallery and in some of the major galleries, commercial galleries in town as well as in Johannesburg. And some people who've even started here have left the country, but they still come back.
I am actually an artist myself, and I've had the privilege of doing an art residency program here, and this was one of the things that I most enjoyed about the space. You could totally retreat and get on with your own work and be reflective, and then at times when you felt you needed the contact or you needed some kind of interaction, you could step outside of your studio and there was a whole hub of energy going on right outside your doors.
It's a wonderful big space which has given me the privacy to work on my own as much as I want, but I also have the advantage of being able to talk to all the other artists. We look at each other's work, we inspire each other, bounce off each other. There's been a lot of that, and I feel there's been an influence. I certainly have got ideas and encouragement actually from all over the place.
When I was coming to Greatmore from Nigeria, My greatest expectation actually was to see, just a few artists on ground, and then I just do my own thing and have an exhibition and go back to Nigeria. But when I got here, I discovered that there is no limitation to the kind of artists that you meet.
I get very isolated in my own studio, and I do liaise with Cape Town artists, but to meet artists from other countries, I think we've got 11 countries on this Thupelo workshop, as well as local artists. So yeah, to meet professional artists from other countries has been huge for me. Yeah.
Creative time. This is a very valuable time. 2 weeks is most precious. Like I may not get another, this kind of intense time where I have to work and not worry about my regular chores. So all we do just work. So this is we immerse ourselves into a creative process. It's a unique experience.
I've come here, I met some very interesting, hard-working artists. So sometimes where I'm lacking, they build me up, and sometimes where they are lacking, I build them up too.
It's been great because there's so many cultures here working together at once, and I've been really inspired and exposed to different kinds of art and kinds of techniques that I've never encountered before, and so I think it's been really helpful for me as an artist to grow.
I think this project, working with residents, is actually really useful, really productive, in that it's creating a very good sense of community, and we're getting to know people, and so in a way it's improving security as a whole. Yeah.
Greatmore Art Studios, for me, I think is the best, because I've done some residency. I did something like this in Nigeria, which was even for a year, but I think this is best. This gives the best of experience. It allows the artist to express himself.
I think that there's a spirit of generosity in the place, and I think that it's because of this generosity, which comes from the top, it comes from the way it's managed, all the way through, everybody on the committee, and it's an inspiration to the people who come from different countries to become lighter, warmer, more giving.
My technique is very, very difficult and cumbersome to achieve. So usually in a month, I might not be able to produce more than 2 paintings. But here in Greatmore, I've got a lot of concentration, no distraction whatsoever, and in 1.5 months, I've produced about 7 paintings. And for me, that's amazing. I've never achieved that all my life back home in Nigeria.
By offering an interaction, you're able to learn a lot and pick up new techniques and have a dialogue all the time, so that you're not just stuck in your corner mulling over your own sort of work.
For all the artists, I think that's important, because they can exchange ideas, they can learn from each other, and they can even cooperate with each other.
There's artists from all over the world coming in, and then it's also making a really great effort to involve the community around, surrounding the studios, and get them involved too, and it's been really nice to be involved.
Definitely, when I live here, I'm going to have a new body of works influenced by Greatmore. And Greatmore, anyhow, whichever height I reach in life, Greatmore is an important aspect of that.
This has given me sort of a confidence that I didn't necessarily have before.
The participants from all over the world themselves, they have said to me they have never been to such a workshop. It's the best that they have ever gone to.
I think when I go home, I will have a couple of new friendships that will last for a longer time than just this short period of two weeks.
This time is the first time that we're going to be putting on a festival. The reason we would like to do this festival is to try and demystify the space and to try and demystify the area. So 2 ways we're trying to do this is invite new visitors to the area and to open up the doors to the locals who often walk past here and have no idea what goes on behind the closed doors. So now they have an opportunity to come in and find out what we do. What's unique about this festival is the breaking the boundaries and breaking the sort of barriers that happen between artists and local community. A lot of the artworks have come from the result of a Thupelo workshop, and Thupelo is never themed, but this year we added a title called Interventions. We also encourage site-specific work, and all the artists totally embrace this.
I'm making these big faces for the sides of buildings out of duct tape, so sort of making like giant sticker eyes and noses and mouths that you can put on the wall there.
We are called the Polite Force. It's been brilliant. I've been talking to people from all over, guiding people, being nice.
I just wanted to do something kind of silly and fun, and I noticed that there's a lot of kids around the area too, and I think it's important to make something that everyone can relate to, even kids. You know, so something that would speak to them as well.
I was talking to someone, they wanted to set something in the trees, and I suddenly thought, why don't I do this giant bird thing? And I just went and tried it out, and then a can share helped with the decoration as well, so I had some help there. Yeah, so you just get bigger and broader and start going wild, and then the energy just picks up.
I made a big slogan on the community center, which will probably stay there because nobody is going to take it off. And so that will be visible, and it's always there for me as a positive stimulation. I hope, you know.
Funders have funded Greatmore Studios and the workshops because we have an excellent track record. We've been established for 11 years, but we have a much longer history than that. Being that we came out of Thupelo, Thupelo's been running for 30 years. We have a very established administrative setup, so I think that we can satisfy all the administrative requirements, which I think is important to the funders because they require all their money to be well spent and well managed, and this we do. And we have this track record with the funders. As well as we have a great record of producing high quality artworks and good artists. We have fantastic reports and good feedback from the artists, and so we're able to adapt and respond and stay current with the artists' needs as well as with the funders' needs.
What we're trying to build into our funding is that somebody would, a corporate or an individual would come forward and say, we want to sponsor a studio for a year or 3 years preferably, because our programs for the resident artists are for 3 years. And so if they could sponsor that studio, it would help the artist, it would cover his outreach costs, our admin costs, our digital costs, and feed into the growth of the studio. So that's our new way of funding.
I just think that we have very few non-government organizations that have survived the 70s and the 80s. Where are all those wonderful organizations that gave us an opportunity to make art at minimal cost? They are gone. Government has not stepped in to help them. They have faded away. Greatmore is the only one that offers developing artists a home where they can practice their art.